this one. Anyways, let's start this first. Welcome back, everybody. It's nice to see you here. I want to do these series of videos which are short, and that's the main point of it, that I teach you something in a very short form factor, and I'm going to call it the Wednesday quickie, since I don't have any better ideas for the names. If you have, please comment down below, and yeah, we'll see. Tutorial Tuesday is taken, so that's not gonna be it, and this is going to be a real pain in the ass. I gotta start OBS Studio to record my screen, which I just did, and then I guess let's go to Lightroom and reset this picture, because you need to see the whole thing. So very quickly, doing this image, I'm going to do some basic adjustments, raise the exposure a little bit, maybe raise the contrast, get rid of the highlights, and I want it to be a little bit darker. The shadows and the blacks, I want them to be a little bit darker. I'm going to add texture, and this is how I usually edit images. I add texture, then I reduce the clarity, because I don't like this look. So if you raise the clarity, you get this V or the edge contrasty something. I like to decrease it. That gives it a nice soft film-like look. And also you can play with the dehaze, which softens the image up too. I think I'm pretty happy with that. Yes. Now, what you want to do for the Instagram fade, and this is today's topic, the Instagram fade. By the way, sorry for the camera shaking. It's just on the table, on the juice box, anyways. For what you want to do for the Instagram fade is you want to create something that's called an S-curve. The S-curve looks something like this. You need these points. And by the way, if you don't have this as your curve, you probably have this one. You don't want this. This is bad. I've never used it. I don't even know what it's good for, but the point curve is much more usable. So you want to go ahead and what's the name? Parametric curve. Yes, now that's a name you have to forget. You have to go right next to it, click to edit in point curve, and then you will have it at first on linear, but then when you put down your points, it's going to change to custom. You need to put down these points. The bottom left controls your black levels. Okay, the absolute blacks. Right next to it is the highlights. If you do one more point, let's go ahead and create one more point that controls only your midtones. Next to it is highlights, and on the top right corner is the whites, the pure whites, the blown out whites, pretty much. And obviously, like anything in between those points, and it's going to look like this. So if I grab the shadows, you see only the shadows get affected, the highlights and the midtones don't really. I'm gonna pull this down right here. If I grab the midtones, only the midtones increase, the highlights, the blacks, nothing else. I'm going to leave that right there and up the highlights just a little bit. And if you take the whites and pull it down, you are getting rid of the burnt out whites, the pure whites. So it's another pro tip for you. The Instagram fade happens with the blacks down here. That's your black levels, and you want to grab it and just pull it up, and there you go, you have the fade. Now, it is entirely possible to do this without adding the extra points. So this is where we start. If I start to raise it, you see the whole image kind of brightens up, which can be usable sometimes, but you don't really want it. At least add a point in the midtones. So this is a more drastic fade, but if you want to go ahead and use this, use it. I like to use the S-curvy fade, so only blacks and the really dark shadows get affected by it. Let's do another image very quickly. What do we have here? Let's do, this is a nice black and white, okay? Or well, it's going to be a nice black and white. What I'm going to do is straighten up just a little bit. Done. Boom, raise the exposure, get highlights down, and I'm going to increase the shadows, and let's go right into the curve. So what you want to do, point here, bring the shadows down a little bit, the highlights up a little bit, get that nice contrast, and then pull up on the blacks, and that's it. Basically, we have a nice faded look here, and if I wanted to, I could just, you know, post this image right now. I wouldn't post it because I don't particularly like the image, because I cut off the legs. That's my biggest complaint. But just so I could show you, I think this is a nice representation, and you can do something with a fade like this, which is the color fade, or as I call it. And if I correct, yes, yeah, kind of like this. So this is a nice filmic look. Also, I have the black and white fade, which is kind of the same with minor adjustments. Okay, so this is where you can take your edit with the fading, and I highly suggest you do it in Lightroom or any other app that can control tone curves, because Instagram is editing a compressed image that has been compressed, and then you edit it with the Instagram editor. So it's double compressed. It's not that good. This is much better in terms of quality. And that's the first Wednesday quickie. I hope it's quick, and I guess see you next week. If you like my content, please consider subscribing, because it really just helps me out. And thank you for the love that you guys are showing me. I got 42 subs, which is crazy good for me. Like, I never even thought I'm gonna have 1 subscriber, but now it's 42. Over 1,000 views. So yeah, thank you, and just more thank yous. Is that it? Yeah, that's it. See you next week.